In 1991, a 15-year-old girl sat across the chessboard from one of the strongest players in the world. The game was brutal, tactical, unforgiving. And when it ended, the chess world had to rewrite history because Judit Polgár had just become the youngest Grandmaster ever, beating Bobby Fischer's record by a full month. But that wasn't the real story. The real story, she did it in a game that for centuries told women they weren't smart enough to compete. Her name is Judit Polgár, and she didn't just break barriers, she shattered them so completely that no one could ever put them back together. Judit was born in Budapest, Hungary, in 1976. Her father, Laszlo, was a psychologist with a radical theory. Genius isn't born, it's made. He believed that with the right training, any child could become exceptional. And he was going to prove it with his daughters. Laszlo chose chess, not because he was a master, he wasn't, but because chess had clear measurements. You couldn't fake brilliance. The rating system didn't lie. So he taught his three daughters, Susan, Sophia, and Judit, to play chess from the moment they could move the pieces. By age 4, Judit was already beating adults at the local chess club. By 5, she was entering tournaments. By 9, she had a rating that put her among the top players in Hungary, adult players. But there was a problem. Women's chess existed in a separate category. Lower prize money, less prestige. The assumption was clear. Women couldn't compete with men at the highest level. Laszlo made a decision that changed everything. Judit would never play in women's tournaments. Never. She would compete only against the absolute best, regardless of gender. The chess establishment pushed back. They said she was too young, that the competition would be too intense, that she'd be crushed. They were wrong. At 11, Judit won the World Championship for players under 12. At 12, she won the under 14. She wasn't just winning her age group, she was demolishing them. By 15, she earned the Grandmaster title, the youngest person ever, male or female. But Judit didn't stop there. She climbed the world rankings methodically, ruthlessly. In 2002, she reached number 8 in the world. Not 8th among women, 8th among all players on Earth. She beat 9 current or former world champions in her career: Kasparov, Karpov, Spassky, Topalov, Anand. Every legend of the game, she beat them all. In 2002, she faced Garry Kasparov, widely considered the greatest player ever. Kasparov was ranked number 1. He dominated chess for nearly 2 decades. Judit was playing black, statistically the weaker position. The game was razor-sharp, tactical chaos. Kasparov was known for crushing opponents in exactly these positions, but Judit didn't flinch. Move after move, she matched him. Then she found a breakthrough, a brilliant knight sacrifice that Kasparov couldn't refute. When Kasparov resigned, the chess world erupted. It wasn't just that she'd won, it was how she'd won, outplaying the greatest tactical player in history at his own game. Kasparov later said, "She has fantastic chess talent. In a blitz game, she's incredibly dangerous." That was as close to a concession as anyone would get from him. Judit's style was aggressive, tactical, fearless. She didn't play safe chess. She played winning chess. Opponents knew that facing Judit meant facing someone who would find every weakness, exploit every mistake, and never, ever back down. In 2014, at age 38, Judit retired from competitive chess. She was still ranked in the top 100 globally, still beating grandmasters half her age. She retired undefeated in her mission. She never once played in a women's tournament. She proved her father's theory. And she proved something even bigger, that the barriers separating men's and women's chess were never about ability. They were about opportunity, about belief, about being told you can't and refusing to listen. Today, Judit's legacy lives on. Every young girl who picks up a chess piece does so in a world Judit changed. The debate isn't whether women can compete with men anymore. Judit settled that. She once said, "I always say that women should have the self-confidence that they are as good as male players, but only if they are willing to work as hard as male players." And she worked harder than anyone. From a 4-year-old in Budapest to the greatest female chess player of all time, all because her father believed genius could be taught, and she believed in herself enough to prove the world wrong. What do you think made Judit able to dominate a male-dominated sport so completely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more stories of prodigies who change the world, hit that subscribe button. This is Prodigy Pulse, where genius is just the beginning.